Okay, I just want to share something with you here real quick. I guess it's a little bit of philosophy about the way that I do things with my gear here. But this isn't a review per se, but I'm going to show you a couple of pieces of gear that I've carried as EDC items for quite a while. First one is this. It's a CRKT M21. Fairly common knife. It's been really good to me. I fell in love with the sweep of the belly of the blade here. It's a very efficient cutter. Works really well for survival and bushcraft kind of tasks. Fairly heavy duty, not the most heavy duty folder out there, and it's definitely not a fixed blade, but this has been a really good knife to me. And a couple of unintended uses I'm sure that the manufacturer didn't plan on is that the back of the spine here along the blade edge is quite sharp. It works really well for getting a bite on a fire steel. And the second thing related to fire is right back here. This last hole, skeletonizing hole on the handle, the frame, if we can get it to focus there, actually, the liner actually goes right up into that last hole. And it's coated with something, perhaps Teflon, I'm not sure, but it makes for a really good bearing block for a bow and drill set. And I've used this one probably 50 times, if not more, and it shows almost no wear. So it's really nice to have a tool that's good for the fire steel, good for the bow and drill, and also good for making feather sticks or whatever you need. So that's a multi-purpose tool. Excellent. It works really well for me. The second thing I want to show you is my fire steel. It's a Swedish Army Light My Fire steel. I'm sure that many of you carry exactly the same thing. Mine looks a little bit funny because I've worn it out intentionally a certain way. I've burned through lots of fire steels over the years, half a dozen or more, and I've lost probably just as many. But the reason that I bring it down to a kind of a point like this is because I learned right away that if you make long sweeping strokes in your fire steel, you'll weaken it up at the top, and you reduce the life span of your fire steel. So by doing it like this, making it look like this, you can double the life that you'll get out of your fire steel, and I'll show you how you do that. It's a combination of bad technique and good technique. Bad technique with a fire steel is that you bring your knife forward and you disturb your tinder and make a big mess of things. Good technique with fire steel is that you get a good bite on it and you pull your fire steel back. But the way that I do this is I lock my thumbs in place like that, and then you put your knife blade onto your fire steel and you make a combination of pulling back with your fire steel and giving a little flick away from your tinder so you're not going to hit it with your knife. And the result is you get plenty of good hot sparks. There's no question about that. But also, you wind up with just using the end of your fire steel, and it turns out to be hourglass shaped. And eventually, that breaks off. I was going to show you that before it broke off, but I left this fire steel sitting on the kitchen table and had the end of the lanyard hanging off the edge there, and the cat decided to pull it off and it broke the end off, so I couldn't show you that. But now I still have a very effective, just shorter fire steel that works perfectly with the same technique. Lots of lifespan out of that. Okay, so now the philosophy of what I want to show you here is that when you find good gear, like what I have here, that really works well for my purposes and the way that I do things, I would like to recommend that you go out and get duplicates. This is the exact same thing. As you can see, much less use, but that's the exact same fire steel, new in package. And here I have the exact same folding knife, new in package. And the reason I got thinking about this is that I'm going to take these the new ones out, and I'm going to vacuum package them with a little light oil on them so that they last a long time, because these tools just keep going and going for me here. So the reason I recommend getting backups like this is that as soon as you break or lose a tool that you really love and that you've enjoyed for a long time, and you go to try to buy a new one, it'll be discontinued or they will have changed it, just like they did with this. A lot of these knives now come in different handle materials, which may not work as well for use as a bow and drill. And they have this automatic dummy-proof lock on it. So when you open the knife, it has this little device here that automatically locks it out instead of giving you the choice like the version that I have has. So it's not the end of the world, but it's not the same tool that I have here that I like and I'm used to. So that's just my take on gear. If you can afford it, duplicate it.